So my name's Matt Solis, and I'm the founder and CEO of Golden Filters. I am currently getting my professional MBA at the University of Iowa right now. I'm located in Davenport, Iowa, and Golden Filters is an air filter distributor, and that is our website right there. All right, so the agenda, what I'm going to talk about today is what is IAQ and what is Golden Filters and why Golden Filters. So IAQ, it's indoor air quality. All right, why is indoor air quality important? So here's a few statements from the EPA, and they say Americans on average spend approximately 90% of their time indoors, where the concentrations of some pollutants are often 2 to 5 times higher than typical outdoor concentrations. That was from the EPA. And then ASHRAE came out with this statement: better indoor air quality leads to more productive and happier occupants. And then also ASHRAE said indoor air quality problems that get out of hand can be quite costly in terms of loss of work time. So ASHRAE is kind of the motherhood of, they stand for air conditioning, like heating, refrigeration, etc. So they kind of set all the guidelines for the United States, and they're throughout the whole world. They set all of our guidelines for testing, different types of what guidelines you should have for each building, and different types of like industrial facilities. So we kind of go off of their standards, and we go off of their testing and everything, just for filtration and obviously refrigeration and all that other good stuff. So what is Golden Filters? So how are we going to improve that indoor air quality? And that's through filtration. And at Golden Filters, we believe in better air quality for small businesses or residents that have an active need for better filters. And then why Golden Filters? So we are American-made, washable, and high-efficiency filters. And we also have filter experts to help you find the correct filter for the application. We are home of the top-performing Infinite Gold 8. So the Infinite Gold 8 is the reason I started this business. My full-time position is I'm vice president at Smith Filter, and we are one of the filter manufacturers. We supply throughout the United States. We're pretty well known in the industry, but we only sell to distributors. So I came up with this Infinite Gold 8. It's a MERV 8 washable filter, and it outperforms any pleated filters. You probably see those pleated filters in every furnace, and commercial facilities. They only last 90 days, and you're supposed to throw them out. So I was like, why don't we come up with something that's washable? I've had people ask for it, and the technology just hasn't been there. So I had a lot of contacts being in the business. I found a really good source, and we were able to come up with something, and that's the Infinite Gold 8. It's washable, and it's least resistant than a normal pleated filter. So what that means, the energy costs that your motor is using to push through that filter, that's called initial resistance. And the lower that is, the less your motor has to work and saves money on energy costs. So that's why I'm huge on this Infinite Gold 8 and MERV. When I talk about MERV, it stands for minimal efficiency reporting value. That's how ASHRAE defines, how efficient your filter is, or what kind of rating you need. So technically, for every indoor facility, you need a MERV 6 and higher. So this exceeds the minimal requirements for each facility. So here's a little video of Infinite Gold 8 I came up with. It kind of gives you a nice little overview of this, and I was hoping it would play. It's giving me some trouble, but it just takes a while to load. All right, let's see here. If anything, let's do it this way. Got my website here. You can watch it. A short little clip.
Golden Filters is proud to offer the latest product in air filtration. The Infinite Gold 8 is the future of washable high filtration. Golden Filters has an independent test of a MERV 8 rating, proven performance of a MERV 8 rating after being washed multiple times. The Infinite Gold 8 uses mechanical filtration. This filter has a lower initial resistance than the standard bleach, which reduces energy costs. It uses depth cleaning instead of surface cleaning, like a standard bleach, which creates higher dust holding capacity and longer changeouts. Antimicrobial coating is applied to prevent bacteria and mold growth.
That was the video. Go to the next slide here. So yeah, the Infinite Gold 8's perfect for any furnace or air intake application. And what separates us from the competition is the whole, we do like a whole facility protection. So I also came up with this HEPA air purifier because that ever since COVID, that's become very popular in the industry as these HEPA air purifiers. So it's a portable air cleaner designed for any room. It does have this type of media in here in the washable pre-filter. Then there's activated carbon, and then a HEPA filter that's all made here in Moline, Illinois. And that's so you can put one of those in any room. That's any family room, wherever you spend the most time. And then put your Infinite Gold 8 in your furnace, and then you'd be protected for the best indoor air quality possible. Yeah. So Golden Filters is here to help you breathe fresh golden air. Thank you.
Very nice. Any questions? I guess I'll start things out. So, washable filters. What is it? Just running it through the garden hose or the washing machine, or how do these washable? Because I'm familiar with the ones you put in and toss after a month or two. How are these washable?
Yep. So yes, it's essentially just a garden hose during summertime. You take it outside, or we have those harsh winters, and you take it out, and you can use it in your sink. You can wash it out in a sink or a bathtub, and you do that every 90 days, so 4 times a year. You only have to clean it out, and it lasts for over 3 years. So right there, we did some energy savings. That's going to save over $479 for someone over its lifespan because of the energy cost and from throwing out that filter. It is a more premium cost, probably in the $40 to $50 range for one, but it's going to last for 3 years, and a normal heated filter is about $10. So you're spending $40 every year.
Okay.
I'm Matt. This is Eric. Sorry, Jay. I didn't. If you had another question,
Nope.
I didn't mean to
Go ahead.
interrupt.
Go ahead.
As a homeowner, I'm somewhat familiar with air filters. I think many of us probably are here. I've seen prices for filters anywhere from the real cheap ones, $3 or $4, to online. The OEM one is probably over $40. I don't have a giant unit. It's a 20 by 25 by 4. They're very expensive. I think about that every time I put one in. So it is something that is really interesting to me, with the idea of being able to reuse it, essentially, because it is something I think about when I have to throw that out, throwing out this filter every month or so. So what about your go-to-market strategy? I mean, how are you going to get this out? Obviously, there's a lot of filters at the home, your Home Depots and Menards and so forth. How do you compete against that? How are you going to get it out? So talk to me about your thoughts about that.
Yeah, that's a great question. That's something I've been battling. We've actually been online for 2 years, and my first initial thought was, everyone can use this filter, but I was the market's too broad there, so I need to find something to really concentrate on, and that was mostly what I've been finding out the last couple of weeks is try focusing on smaller businesses because that's who ends up purchasing from me. I get the one-off residential that's looking, but I'm finding out a lot of residents are just going to Lowe's or Home Depot to find their air filter. You might get some that are searching online or Amazon too.
Yep.
You get those, but it's a hard sell because people don't really think about their indoor air quality as well when they're just like, oh, this is something I need to do every 90 days, and they're just like, oh, there's good middle of the road type filters out there, but a lot of those are competition over in China and stuff.
Yep.
That the media and all that stuff is not as well. So I'm trying to really push the American made in this as well, and I've been trying to really push the reusable, those type of eco-friendly type people that are more cautious to it because they are caring about. I mean, I took a picture of a huge, like you said, a 20 by 25 by 4. It took up their whole dumpster.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, you should, or their whole like garbage bin was like sticking out. So I took a picture of that. I'm like, you don't have to do this every 4 times a year. You just take it out, wash it out, and then put it back in. You're saving, because all those filters that are going to landfill, those things aren't getting broken down because they have metal on them because they have the wire backing. So they're not breaking down in landfills at all.
What about working with some HVAC contractors, using them as a channel to get feedback and some exposure? And
That's a good question too, because being in the industry, being a manufacturer, I've reached out to them at the beginning, and the problem is they want that repeat business of going to your home every 90 days and replacing your air filter. They don't want to go there and wash it out. They want to, then they think that you can go and do that. So they would rather go there every 90 days, replace your filter, send you a bill for checking on your system, whatnot, and then placing your filter is just another, part of their service per se. But if they go there and wash it out, it's like essentially something you could do. So they're not huge fans of it, and that's why I went to this e-commerce based platform and just started selling just strictly online to people that are searching for this.
yeah, I think the online, that makes sense. That's actually what I was expecting your experience was going to be. The e-commerce makes sense. What are you doing for content development? Because that's going to be really important to get people to understand and find you, find your site. Anybody who's looking for reusable air filter, where do you show in the results?
Now, well, that's one thing I'm struggling with, and that's something I'm starting to find out in one of our classes here is how to, through customer discovery, where do I need to focus more on? Because, if you put in air filter in Google, I'm competing against billion-dollar companies too. So
Right.
I'm not going to be the first one to show up on Google AdWords. But if I do more blogs and more of that kind of stuff and reach out to people like influencers or something like that are going to, try pushing my product, that, that's kind of where I need to start shifting my focus to is just kind of be the home to information, because I do sell other type of filters too, but these are my 2 main ones. And I still sell the popular filters, get people to my website, then I try upselling them because people aren't looking for this filter. They're not Googling Infinite Gold 8 or washable MERV 8. They're not Googling that type of stuff. They're just Googling air filter or replace mine that I currently have.
Yeah.
A couple thoughts. Thank you for presenting today, Matt. You were mentioning kind of getting exposure and being out there. Have you thought about being involved in like events where maybe you have I'm thinking of like the ShamWow or the, hey, look at how you use these filters, and maybe setting up a tent and having a booth where people are maybe at a barbecue event and, you know, there you are on the side showing how you can wash this filter off. Have you thought about that, or have you done that, or are you interested in being involved in things like that?
Yeah, that's a good point. I tried doing our local farmers market because I figured, you know, those people are type eco-friendly type people that are looking for organic stuff and whatnot. So I tried signing up for that and they wouldn't let me in. So they said they have like 1 or 2 events a year they will contact me. But yeah, I've tried some of that and yeah, I think I would probably need, you know, more exposure, having someone go out and do that type of stuff too. So
And then have you also talked to like Crawford HVAC or local HVAC companies to see if there's a way to partner with them, or maybe go along with them to a client to provide or show your services? Has that do you have relationships with people like that you'd be interested in maybe exploring that route?
yeah, I do have a lot of partnerships just because my full-time job, we are the manufacturer, so I know these guys pretty well and I don't want to step on their toes at all either. So I don't want them to think that I'm competing against them because I'm not. The local HVAC guys are, you know, are more for the local. I'm more for, you know, a lot of my sales have been out west because they're willing to pay a higher price is what I'm finding. So yeah, I don't want to step on their toes at all either. But yeah, that's a good point. And I get feedback from them, and being in the industry, I'm finding out, you know, what people are, you know, right now it's a huge lead times issue, supply chains very disrupted right now. So I'm finding out people need stuff right away. That's, you know, just from talking to different people, that's the biggest issue right now.
Hi, Matt. One question. You were talking before about during your presentations about you know, everything is U.S. made. Can you just spend a few words on the cost structure of your business? I mean, making everything in the United States with respect of, I guess you verified also, you know, importing from abroad. What's the impact?
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, everything's made here, right? And our Smith filters at located in Moline, Illinois, which is the Quad Cities. So all of our filters are made here that I'm selling. But yes, it's China is a huge competitor in this market, and you know, they have really you know, inexpensive stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a higher premium cost right now. But the advantage I have, especially on the HEPA purifiers, I actually went through Alibaba and got the units themselves, shipped them all here from China, and then I put American-made filters in them because my thought process behind that whole thing is, all that is the air purifier itself is just a fan. You know, it's taking in air and pushing in air out. So what's the most important thing with the air purifier is quality filters that are going into it. That's picking up the particles. You know, that's your most important aspect of an air purifier, is those filters. And a lot of those, my competition, I put a few on Amazon, those are all in the same price point, but they're all from China, and they're Chinese made filters that are not really HEPA grade. And even though they say it, how are you going to really audit it at the same time?
Okay, thanks. And one observation, it comes from a little bit from what we do. My wife has a home child care, and we're looking into, you know, I think it's very important, you know, mainly for the kids to have, you know, a very high quality of air, considering the fact that over here everything is recirculated with cold weather, you're not bringing in fresh air from outside, and we're looking into that, and that could be maybe a market to look into, because I think it would be personally, I think it would be I would oblige all home childcare and childcare in general to adopt and to install these types of filters, because the quality of air is important for infants and kids and everything. So I don't know if it's something that what type of model you can adopt, if it's a lease or something like that, but maybe could be interesting looking into it.
Yeah, at least it's a good idea, but yeah, you're right. That's a great point. Thank you. And that's another thing I'm finding out through my customer discoveries is a lot of people my age now are starting to have kids. So they're saying, yeah, I would be more interested in an air purifier because of my kids, and also the at-risk population. The home cares and that type of retirement homes is definitely another good market as well, because you hear all these reviews from other people using them. They say they've helped with allergies and all sorts of stuff like that. So.
Matt, I have a sort of an observation and a question for you as you're thinking about branding. I get that you've established a brand and you have some success with it, but if you're interested in leveraging the green aspect of this and that it's reusable, the word infinity kind of works for that as I think about it. And I get how you came up with the idea of infinity, because it implies this, perpetual reuse of something rather than throwing away. Gold confuses me. Gold doesn't filter air. When I think about golden air, it's non-filtered, pollen-filled kind of air. And then I thought, well, if we're going with the color, and I get it, gold standard was what you were after there, but to me that was a little confusing. And then I thought, well, but this is really a green appeal. And so I'm wondering if Infinity Green might be a direction to build a brand that maybe faces consumers in a way that is memorable and makes sense and highlights these individual advantages that separate you from what I'll find at Menards.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great point. I guess I didn't really think about that as much either. That's kind of what I was going for, was the infinity. So I kind of had like the infinity sign with the 8. I kind of tried going off that a little bit, but the green aspect would be a good part to add in there for sure. Thank you for that.
Any other questions? Not hearing any. I've got one before our final one. So, really cool thing, really cool product. What is the eventual end game? Are you, is this just going to be part of your existing operation? Are you eventually thinking, oh, it'd be neat to eventually sell this whole thing to 3M or one of these other filter makers? What's the 5-year plan on this?
That's a great question, and that's kind of where I'm trying to be flexible with it as well. I see a lot of different avenues this thing could go down. If it does really, if it's kind of complementary to our parent company or my full-time position at Smith Filter, maybe that could be something that they buy out part of or something like that, and then they can use that platform to sell, because as a manufacturer, we don't want to, if we have end users come reach out to us, I point them to a distributor, because that's what we rely on is our distributor. So maybe it could be a good be complementative of our Smith Filter to be doing that. But also, this could be, if it really takes off, there's a lot of other online that are companies that are trying to do it that are still, multi-million-dollar companies that are doing pretty well, but they just sell the basics. And I kind of want to be more, kind of be ahead of that and be more innovative and trying to figure out the right solution for every filter, because I don't want to just sell anybody anything. I want to build up a good brand and have people trust when they reach out to Golden Filters, you're going to find the right filter for them. So there's a lot of that avenues. I can't say I have exactly where I want to be in 5 years, but I'm just trying to make this thing as good as I can every year. So see what happens.
Very nice. Any other questions? If not, I'm going to ask our traditional final question here at 1MC Iowa City. What can we as the community do to help you?
Yeah, I love feedback, and customer discoveries has been really tough for me. In our class, we're supposed to reach out to a bunch of people. I've reached out to a lot of homeowners. In our Facebook group that I'm a part of, there's like 500 homeowners. I put out a post saying, please contact me. I'd love to interview you to help and that kind of stuff. And no one responded. So it's been tough to interview people, and I like hearing different ideas. I'm trying to be as open as possible. So I love hearing bad users' feedback. So I'll put up my email in the chat as well. If someone wants to add anything or be interviewed or whatever, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be happy to interview them.
Very cool. Kind of going off of that, and we'll wrap up then. Like neighborhood hardware stores, do you have any connections there, like Ace Hardware's, True Values, that sort of thing? Because I don't see you making a dent at Menards or Lowe's or Home Depot, but perhaps the neighborhood stores, you might be able to set up a table if you have contacts with one of those sort of stores. Have you thought about doing that, or have you done that yet?
No, I haven't done that yet. That would be a good idea.
Yeah,
To definitely do that. I'd probably travel outside my area to maybe see a local one over there, and that would probably be a good idea for sure. Get some more feedback.
Yeah, because definitely check into those local hardware stores, because that's, I would think the people that are looking for a more durable product may end up going to one of those because they want to shop locally. They don't want to go to one of the big box stores. So just something to think about as you're doing customer discovery, as a potential place where you could find discoveries for your customer discovery.